And so this is the North Korea Sanctions Enforcement Act, and this relates to the attack in November, the cyber attack on Sony Pictures. North Korea once again reminded the world that behind its belligerent rhetoric is a country that poses a very real and a very serious threat to our security. This bill, the North Korean Sanctions Enforcement Act, is a direct response to North Korea's continued aggression, and I want to thank the ranking member, Mr. Engel, who has been twice to North Korea, for working with me to introduce this bill, which is substantially similar to our North Korea sanctions bill that passed the House last July. This bill codifies a robust array of tough sanctions against the regime and its enablers, much like the penalties that were successfully applied by the Treasury Department back in 2005 when the agency targeted a small bank in Macau that was complicit in Pyongyang's counterfeiting at the time. And this seriously crippled North Korea's financing and was one of the most effective steps we have taken against North Korea until the sanctions were foolishly lifted in 2008 in exchange for fruitless negotiations over the country's nuclear program. Nearly 7 years later, some analysts believe that North Korea has succeeded in miniaturizing a nuclear warhead. Some of you may have seen this reported yesterday, but they reportedly could be on track to have a stockpile of 100 atomic bombs within 5 years. It is time to end the administration's policy of strategic patience, and this bill will prevent Kim Jong-un and his top officials from reaching those assets they maintain in foreign banks, as well as the hard currency that sustains their rule. The bill's sanctions target North Korea's money laundering, its counterfeiting, its smuggling and narcotics trafficking, undermining these key finances of the regime's nuclear program. Disrupting North Korea's illicit activities will also place tremendous strain on the country's ruling elite, who have done so much harm to the North Korean people. I've seen some of that harm firsthand in the eastern part of North Korea when I was there. Last year, the UN Commission of Inquiry released the most comprehensive report on North Korea to date, finding that the Kim regime has for decades pursued policies involving crimes that shock the conscience of humanity, in their words. H.R. 757 requires the State Department to use the Commission of Inquiry's findings to identify the individuals responsible for such abuses. And the bill also requires the administration to report on activities that seek to undermine our cybersecurity and to study the feasibility of bringing cellular and internet communications to North Korea's people to break the information blockade. We'll now turn to Mr. Engel for his opening statement on North Korea's Sanctions Enforcement Act.